God, thank you for this day. Thank you for letting all of us have the free time this morning to get together and do this podcast. It's always a privilege to get in the room. Even if it's just me and Tyler, it's a privilege, but especially when we have a guest and a guest like we have today. So I pray that you'll bless these cameras and the equipment and the audio, God, and obviously all of us and the conversations that we need to have. I pray that your Holy Spirit will just dwell in this room, and that if there's a conversation we need to have, whether it's for one of us or somebody listening, that you'll guide us and prompt us to do that. And it's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Let's get it, boys.
Let's get it. Well, we have Mr. Randy Montana with us today. He's made a name for himself in the Nashville scene for quite some time. You've probably heard his voice, depending on how old you are. You've probably heard his voice on your radio dial, but if not, you've definitely heard multiple songs that he has written on your radio dial if you listen to country music. And this is a super special day episode for us, just because Randy has done a lot to help me in Nashville. And yeah, we're just super stoked to have him here. The boy went out and ran 7 miles before he got here this morning.
You gotta get it in early.
He's just a dog. He's a father. He's a songwriter. He loves God and
Hunter.
Yeah, very avid hunter. Left that out. Sorry. Yeah, one hell of a trophy room full of elk and deer and turkeys. I mean, cigar smoke, you name it. But
that's right.
Yeah, man. Welcome to the podcast, and really thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
This is awesome. I love that you guys do this.
Yeah, it's good for us too, man. I mean, we really love having people on here, but I don't think there's ever a time that we do an episode and we look back like, man, wish we wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
Dude, you might be our first. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, dude.
The regret begins.
I've been excited for you to come on this one. When we started this, we made a list of people that we wanted to bring on from day one, and so your name's been sitting on our list for a long time. And
awesome.
We took a little bit of a break when he was getting married, and I was turkey hunting my face off, and we came back in here when he moved in this house and was like, all right, we got to start booking again. Like, let's look at that original list. And we were like, dude, we've had Randy's name on here for a long time. Let's get him in here. So, yeah, we're excited for you to be here.
Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, dude. I have kept up with it, and like I said, I love that you guys do this and have some awesome folks on, just buddies and good conversation.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have a really good one today. So for the people that don't know, again, I don't know that there's many people that don't know this, but you are a country singer turned avid, professional, very successful, multi-number one songwriter. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out how to ask you the right questions here, but like, where do we even start? Because I feel like your whole story is like, you were an all-state quarterback growing up. Like now you have, this house on a hill, these beautiful kids running around every time I go out there. You got your trophy room. Like, it just, every time I think about Randy Montana, I'm like, the dude just had it all together all along. Like,
that is not true.
I feel like
I love that that's the perception, but that is far from true.
It is, bro. I mean, you bring your name up around, like, even any, like, songwriter in town, normally, like, every now and then you'll get like Randy. But no, that's just what they say about me. If you like say Randy Montana, everybody's like, oh yeah, bro. Like Randy is the man. And
that's awesome.
We did I did some research last night, and you apparently have 157 cuts on Spotify. And out of those 157, about 120 of those are actually like label artists.
Wow.
So I don't know if like
that is
I can put that into perspective for our listeners.
I would say that is, even for professional songwriters, I would be willing to bet that is pretty rare.
Yeah.
That's why when y'all were even talking about it before, like it blew my mind, because you spend so much time just writing and you get good news. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you got a cut or whatever, but man, when you put it in perspective like that with those numbers, it's like, that's pretty crazy.
It's awesome, man.
It's huge.
And I just looked, the first 30 or your top 30 cuts all have a minimum of 10 million streams. So, like, if you go from Beer Never Broke My Heart, which is your number one stream song as a songwriter, all the way down to one of the Riley Green songs that you have, from the number one spot to the number 30 spot, the top one is like 700 million streams on Spotify. This is just Spotify alone. And the last one is a Riley Green song that has 10 million streams. So you fill in the gap and just kind of like gradually.
Yeah, and then multiply that by 2 for Apple Music.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, that's just super incredible. And your life's work, man. You know, like,
yeah,
took your whole life to write a lot of that stuff, I'm sure. But I'm going to shut up and let you talk. I'm proud of you. Super happy to have you here. And do you mind just like walking us through like your mentality? Because to me, from the outside in, like you being a good football player to being a successful artist with a record deal to now being just like legitimately a top like 50, 20, 10 songwriter in Nashville. Like, how do you like? What's your life been like?
Well, I mean, you talk about going back, like it's such a, because even I talked to my wife about, because you are blown away. It's like when you do sit there and go, it's like, wow, I can't believe all this is worked out. You know what I mean? And it's not like we're still fighting to get even higher up the hill. You know what I mean? Like it's still an uphill grind. It's never like it gets easier. But I mean, you got to start at the beginning. You know what I mean? It's like where it's like, yeah. I mean, when I signed. Let's see. I was getting married. Me and my grandma got married young. We were 20. I think we were 22 when I got married, and I'd been playing in a band in college and fell in love with music there. You know, and we were doing fraternity parties and those 4-hour sets, and had like a little. We kind of had a little tour route where we do one in the spring and one in the fall, and we'd play at colleges here in the Southeast. We do like Alabama. We got to Tennessee Tech quite a bit, and Tennessee and UT Chattanooga, and kind of would do those shows, and that's where I like really fell in love with music, you know. And I was like, wow, it'd be cool if this could be the gig, you know what I mean? If this would be the thing. And I even before then, it's like, you know, I grew up and my dad's a songwriter, great songwriter, and has had multiple number ones himself. And so I grew up in a house of music and understanding the grind that was. He moved from, let's see, I think I was 3 years old when we moved to Nashville from upstate New York. And he had signed a record deal with Warner Brothers, and moved me and my brother at the time. I have a sister too that was born here, but it was me, my brother, my mom, and him moved to Nashville back in, I don't know, this was in the late 80s. And he did his deal on Warner Brothers, and you know, that didn't work out, and then wound up getting another record deal later on. I think I was 8 or 9, you know, when he got that second record deal, and put out a couple more singles and made a record. And so I've just grown up around music, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of always been the thing. And yeah, I always described it. I've said this 100 times, but I think it's a great way to describe it. It's like if your dad's a mechanic, it's not a big deal when he comes home from, if he changed 3 alternators that day or something.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's just what he does. And that's how it was growing up. That was just the way it was. You know, dad wrote songs, dad played shows, dad traveled, you know what I mean? And so that was kind of my equilibrium, you know what I mean? And so getting into music, I understood. And you know, dad's a lifer, you know. It's like he's been at it since he was in his mid-20s, you know what I mean? He's 65 now. He's still got a publishing deal. So it's like he's been at it for a long, long time. And so I remember the years growing up of, you know, he was still having to. My mom was a physical therapist and working for the school system, and he was still delivering pizzas on the weekends to make extra cash. You know what I mean? Like he hadn't had his hit songs yet. It's like my memories of hit songs were new trucks and then a new house. You know what I mean? It's like that was kind of mentally where I was like, oh, okay, I guess we had a hit song. You know what I mean? It was like that's what set it off. You know, where I was like, oh, okay, Dad's doing good. And so
I always forget sometimes in my head I say like, did he write Suds in the Bucket? Or
yes.
He didn't write Strawberry Wine?
He didn't write Strawberry Wine.
Okay,
No, he wrote
for some
Suds in the
reason
Bucket.
I get those songs mixed up in my head, and I feel like I've said it out loud before.
Yeah.
Is it wild when you get in the car and that song still comes on the radio today?
Yeah, isn't that wild? That's crazy.
It's an incredible song.
Yeah, it's like 25 years old? Something like that?
Dude, I just had an epiphany. Sorry, I have to say this.
Here we go. Welcome to the GodDog podcast, everybody.
No, dude, that's kind of crazy because I feel like Where the Wild Things Are is kind of like a modern day Suds in the Bucket.
Yeah. A little bit of a story to it.
Yeah, it's like the whole like getaway.
Yeah. That's
just,
interesting.
Like,
I never thought about
Dreamer, Chaser, like
that.
it's kind of wild. Sorry.
Yeah. Little story song.
It's in the blood, dude.
Absolutely. That's
Sorry.
funny.
Anyways, yeah. Your dad was writing hits and kind of modeling the life, and
Yeah, well, but it took a long time. You know what I mean? And so I understood that.
How old was your dad when he got his first hit versus how old you were when you got your first hit?
I was younger. I think Dad was, he might have been 39, 40 when he had his first number one. And then I think I was 34, 35, 34, something like that. So yeah, it is the writing side of it. Now he also had a record deal longer than I did. You know what I mean? Like when you got a record deal, I mean, some people can do both, but you know, I wasn't getting a ton of songs cut like when I had a record deal or anything like that. Cause I just wasn't writing that much. I was on the road a ton, you know what I mean? And I was writing for myself and, but yeah, changing that gear from having a record deal to just being a full-time songwriter was a huge transition, you know what I mean, for me, because you go from trying to write songs for yourself, and then you're like, well, now I got to write somebody else's song,
Yeah, for sure.
you know?
yeah.
But
So, go ahead. Were you about to ask something?
I was just gonna say all the songs that like I think about 1,000 Faces and Put Me in a Box and all the Randy Montana like just gems out there, like they're still, which is a testament to, you know, just your music taste in general. Like all those songs could still be cut today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I almost feel like they were a little bit ahead of their time.
yeah,
Because it's, you know, you were kind of in there, and correct me if I'm wrong, like you were on the radio around right before the time that Florida Georgia Line
yeah,
was like kind of input into the system.
absolutely, yeah,
And now like I feel like that kind of genre is starting to, you know, just peel back a little more. And then you hear like, you know, you wrote Pretty Heart for Parker and I Hope You're Happy Now. And those songs to me, like they sound like Put Me in a Box, 1,000 Faces, and or like Assembly Line, like all that stuff is just timeless. And I feel like
thank you.
that is really awesome to know that that's a possibility for even people that like want to be singers, great singers, great songwriters, and maybe it might not work out in the moment, but I feel like God definitely pulled you through it,
Oh my
regardless,
gosh.
you know.
Oh my gosh, I mean, it's so true because it I feel like the genre almost has to come back around to you because like I can't. There's certain songs I can't write, you know what I mean, that I'm just not good at, you know. And the genre does have to come back around. Yeah, I mean that was the thing. It was like I signed my record deal, you know, I was young. It was we were right there. You know, I think I was 23, 24 maybe, like when I signed a record deal and did that. And so but I was in the middle of doing that and the singles were doing okay, you know, like getting into the 30s and stuff like that, but nothing had really caught. And then, like you said, it was like right in the middle, like Florida Georgia Line came out, and that was just an explosion. You know what I mean? Like their career just
Changed everything.
took off and literally changed the sound of the whole genre
For the next 13, 14 years.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that was the way it went. And so I was over here kind of going this way, and then that came out, and it was this whole just, man, like I said, it was seismic. You know what I mean? Like just like an earthquake of a change. And yeah, so then I mean, my deal kind of came to an end, and for better, man. It's like I look back and I'm so grateful that things didn't work out. You know what I mean? Something that you talking about, like something that you sit there and you pray for to keep to work. You know what I mean? You're like, dear Lord, like anything, give me something.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's like you want it to work so bad, and then that rug gets snatched out from underneath you. And but man, I look back, but it came up in a co-write the other day. Somebody asked me about, man, do you ever wish that your artist thing would have worked out? And I look now, I sit here and I'm like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Like I am so thankful for how things have gone now, because it's like, that's what I said to, you know, when, you know, it was Bobby Pinson and Brandon Kinney and I were writing, and Bobby was talking about it, and I was like, man, I'd much rather be at home building a crappy treehouse for my kids. You know what I mean? And I'd much rather spend my weekends doing that. You know,
is that how you initially felt though when you lost that?
oh God, no,
Yeah,
no,
so
it's devastating.
What was that like?
Yeah, it's devastating. I mean, like it was, it's a kick to the ego. You know, it's like you kind of lose a ton of self-confidence because you feel like, well, my thing wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't good enough. I didn't do the right things. I didn't perform right. I didn't say the right things. I didn't wear the right things. I cut the wrong songs. You know what I mean? It's like you go back over everything and you're like, well, if I'd have only done this different, if I'd only done that different. And the truth is, you're just doing the best you can in the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's no way to tell what the future holds. Like there's no, like, you just go with your gut. You know what I mean? And you're
100%.
like, yeah, you're going to make that. Like I've got a list of wrong decisions that I made, but man, all those wrong decisions like got me to where I am now. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, and luckily made a few right ones along the way, you know? And so, yeah, that's such a tough mental thing to overcome when things don't work out the way you planned it or the way that it's all set up to work out. You know what I mean? And it's like, you kind of, like, I remember, because you have to change gears. You know what I mean? It was like the deal was over, and I knew in my heart, in my soul, that I didn't want to do it again. You know what I mean? I didn't want to try again. I'd gotten enough to know it's like, man, I just don't think that's for me. You know, I just don't think that's what I was put here to do. And it's definitely not overnight, you know. It's definitely not overnight that you get over that and just kind of start moving on. But it takes you years. You know what I mean? It took you years to get over that.
And how long from you losing the deal to number one songwriter?
Oh man, it's 7 years.
Really?
So
That's a good question.
you had the pub deal and the record deal at the same time, correct?
Yes.
So the record deal goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the same pub deal you stayed at that got you the number one after the record deal,
No,
or
it
different?
wound up being a different publishing deal. I was in a deal with Sony while I had my record deal, and then that deal ran out, and I started writing for Warner after that. And at Warner's where I had my first hit.
Were you getting radio cuts before the number one? In that 7-year gap, what was that like from the record deal to the number one? Like, were there other radio singles that just didn't go all the way, or like, what was that like?
Yes, I had one or two. I I had one or two. I had an early one on a guy. There was a guy, James Wesley, that was he'd had maybe a hit or two on Broken Bow. I had a James Wesley single. I remember early that did well. I'd sprinkled in a couple cuts, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I'd gotten like a Parmalee cut. I got a George Strait cut while I was at Sony. Yeah,
that's pretty massive, though, right?
That was cool, and that was kind of like my first big one. You know what I mean?
So there was stepping stones along the way in the 7-year period that kind of like gave you a nudge of like you're going the right direction.
100%. There was little breadcrumbs going. Hey, just keep
going this way.
Keep going. Yeah. There was always something. Always was like, even when you thought it was going to run out, you know what I mean? Like when it felt like it was going to run out, there was always something that was.
Do you still feel that way?
Grab. Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. It just that's the thing. It's like it's so crazy to when you say the numbers and stuff like that. Like when you're talking about the streams and the songs cut. It's like, believe me. And I'm kind of glad I had no clue. I kind of like not having a clue because it's like stepping up to the plate and it's like, if you know your batting average, you're like, man, I'm batting 440, and if I keep this going, this is going to be a record year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as opposed to just getting up and hitting the
which
ball.
You have
you know
had.
I mean? Like,
I think that's a really wise thing to say too. But also, with that mentality, I feel like you've had record year after record year in some sense. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but last year you had like back-to-back number ones on Billboard, right? Like you had a song at number one, and then the song that was at the number 2 slot you also wrote, right?
Yeah.
So you were taking up 20% of the top 10.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Spots on radio last year, and then rung the bell 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
That I don't think that happens a lot unless.
It doesn't.
I mean, Ashley Gurley maybe. I mean, that's also a story
It
for
doesn't
another.
even count.
That's a story for another
It's every
time.
6 months for Ashley.
But also, like, you're not helping the system, you know.
Right.
Like, well, you are, but just not in the way that he is. You know, it's a little different. Nothing against Ashley, but everybody knows that.
Yeah.
He throws his money in the pot.
Yeah. Well.
And if you have the money to do it, do it. But I think it's so much cooler to just be a badass songwriter and look at the chart and be like, damn.
Those are wild
like
moments.
Those are my songs, like 1 and 2.
Yeah, man. It's wild moments. You got to soak it in when it's happening.
I have so many questions because like we've had number one writers on this podcast. Probably more people on this podcast than not has been a number one writer actually. But it's like they have one number one. They've had one hit, you know, and it's like, that's awesome. Not discrediting them at all, but it's pretty wild to have someone who has done that time and time and time and time and time again. And so like my thought process of like things that I'm thinking right now are all over the place between like, how do you continue to define success and how do you even handle success? And like for people who don't understand what it's like to have success in the industry on the outside looking in, like there's so many things that you have wisdom on that most writers in this town don't, and definitely people who aren't even into music that just listen to the radio as casual consumers don't understand the level of success that you've actually had. And so I just like, I'm trying to figure out the best place to keep going with this. Cause even for myself, it's like when I asked you a minute ago of, do you still feel like you have this mindset of one day it's going to stop, even though you've like essentially climbed to the top of the mountain that no one else has yet. And yeah, it's just like, you're an interesting person to continue thinking the way you think, while having the success that you have, and not wanting to see the numbers because you're like, oh, I don't want to know the batting average. When in reality, like out of all the people, you could know and not care.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely don't because it's just like even it's silly, but it's back to the sports analogy of like, well, what happens when you drive down and score a touchdown? It's like you're going to get the ball back. The other team's going to either score or they're going to punt the ball back to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, and that's the thing. That's the crazy thing about writing too. You talk about like, it's this thing it's a genre. It's completely out of our control, like the way the genre goes. So like you have to know, it's like, I know it's fleeting. I've been in this long enough. It's like some of these things that you just imagined would never go away. They do.
Can we talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah.
Like that exact statement of like why and what causes it to be fleeting? Because and I want to say this specifically because he knows it. I know it. We probably know it on a much smaller scale than you know it. But there's somebody listening to this that this was me 2 years ago, if not sometimes even now, that hangs their hat of success on this idea that's like, I'm not successful if I don't get the number one or the big after party or the backstage. Like that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
And when I get that, my life will be better.
Yeah.
Can you talk about why you can say that's fleeting?
Oh yeah. Well, and for sure, because I think success looks different at every stage in life. Like I genuinely do. Like I look back at when I first started, and then to when, transitioning out of a record deal into just writing, I was chasing the mythological, like, unicorn of a hit song. You know what I mean? And then it's like, and so, and you build up these things in your head. You're like, well, when I get that, then everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Mm. And then that happens and you realize, like, man, I'm still the same guy. I live in the same house. I drive the same truck. I mean, you might get a new truck, but but it's all the same. But it's
Put
all
some 35s on it too.
Yeah, it might look a little different, but then that wears off. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's
what you're saying is that the number one doesn't take away the life problems or the anxiety and the depression, and the wife is pissed off at you when you came home too late last night.
Might make it worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, might make it worse because it's like, and I think that's like, and that's something like recently over the last 5 or 6 years that I've really begun to, I may have known it before, but I've taken it to heart, and I'm still a work in progress with all of this stuff, but without being rooted in faith, having that be the foundation of everything. If you do put your priorities in the hit song or the money or the car or the house, like all of those earthly things don't fill that void that we're all chasing. You know what I mean? Like people, because we do, it's like I think it's human nature to chase this thing that we think like once we get there, then everything's going to be okay. But having faith as that foundation has made all of those, the amazing things, like the blessings that are hit songs, you know what I mean? That are more income, whatever that is. It's like, man, it's like that even those things don't fill you up the way that being rooted in your faith and in God do fill you up. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, and that's been, honestly, man, it's been, and it almost took like having the hit song to realize that, because it was that thing that I chased for so long. You know what I mean? Like from early on, like that's all I wanted when I had a record deal. You know what I mean? It's like I saw my friends having it. It's like, God, once I get there, once I get that, like look at them, like they're on a bus, and then watching guys rip off hit songs. And I'm like, God, look at them. Once I get that, like, then everything's gonna be fine. And then the truth is, it's like then it happens, and you're like, oh man, I'm still the same guy. I got the same set of issues that I had yesterday. You know what I mean? And so, that's been the biggest like eye-opening thing for me, and because it's been life-changing. You know what I mean? The music industry has been life-changing for me. You go from making hardly any money. You know what I mean? And it's just me and my wife like scraping by, and having kids and running that, and then to rip off hits and like to have, it's a life-changing thing. And it's, for me, that was the most eye-opening part of it. You know what I mean? Like where it's like, wow, no. It's everything's still the same. Like it's still us. Like we're still down here in the foxhole slugging it out,
Yep.
But having that, being based in that being based in faith has made everything even more joyful. You know what I mean? Even in the things that like don't go right. You know what I mean? It's like so many things still don't go right. You know, it's like, oh man, you might have the next single and then you don't get the single. That happens a lot, you know, and it's how you react to that stuff. And it's like, I'm still getting better. You know, I'll be 40 this year, and it's like I'm still having to figure out how to react to that. You know what I mean? And
I think
like,
you probably do forever.
yeah,
And everything with life that way.
yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that someone who has a faith walk with God seems to be able to handle those moments differently. Like you're saying, like, oh, the difference is now it's like the way you react or handle those situations versus if you don't have that, the way you might react is completely different.
for sure.
And I'm sure, like you said, it's been more eye-opening over the last 6. Okay, when you first got your first few hits, it probably wasn't that way. And it was like, so I have 2 things that I want to go off on this. The first one is, because we've talked about it on here, it's like anyone listening can experience this and probably has. It doesn't just have to be a number one. It can be the job title change or the promotion or the I made 100, now I made 200, then I got, or it can be like, well, I've talked about streams. Like I got the first 1 million and I wanted the 2 million.
Right.
And I got 2 and I wanted 5. Now that I've got 5, what do I want next? I want 10 million streams. When you got the first number one, was your mindset like, now I need to? And then does that just trickle down and down and down?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it does continue. It's like, it is a milestone. And I think it's good to celebrate those things.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like I said, it's important to celebrate those things and to love it. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it does. It's like, man, you're like, you get a taste of it and you're like, yeah, I want to do that again. You know what I mean? And then you want to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just kind of, it does. It continues because it's like the goals just change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the goals just change. It's like, well, what do you want to accomplish by the time you're 40? Well, what do you want to accomplish by the time you're 50? You know what I mean? And so, at least that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? It just keeps changing. And like we're talking about with the genre, it's like, man, like you said, I know this is fleeting. You know what I mean? Like the music industry and writing is a fleeting thing. And so where I'm at personally is like, man, I'm just trying to maximize my like the time. You know what I mean? Like where it's like things are good. It's like we're getting songs cut, and it's like, man, there's going to come a day where I'm probably not going to get songs cut. You know what I mean? Like people aren't going to want to cut my songs. And so I just want to maximize up to that point, and then, you know, try to be okay with it when it slows down. You know, it's like man, you watch like guys like Tom Brady, like guys that just get after it, and it's just like that's like that drive is just incredible. And it's like I don't know if I have that bone in me. You know what I mean? Like he does, where he's just like, no, never say die. You know. Just keeps it going.
I feel like you do.
I feel like
I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same thing though. I mean, from my perspective, I just think you're super disciplined in pretty much most of your life. Like obviously I don't know like the little things, but every time I talk to you, you know, you're running or exercising. I know that sounds so silly to say, but like you said, you're turning 40 this year. That's a big deal. You ran 7 miles this morning, you know. And every time that I write with you, like, I pick up on it a little more. I'm like, okay, I understand why he's having the success that he's having, because he found out how to really, really do what he does best really well and do that over and over again. And it's like running a play on a football field. Like you're creating open slots and creating situations for yourself to succeed and hopefully recreate successes that you've had in the past. And I feel like from my perspective, that's just like what you're really good at. You're like, okay, I know I can run this play or I can run this song this way. And it's going to be, this many people are going to be open. Like your receivers are the artists, and you're just like making a play and trying to get the ball to somebody, you know? And I feel like that's what you do really well, is having like a really bulletproof song, idea, melody, it's radio, and then there's a plethora of people that are your friends that you can just hand the ball to. They have to pick it up. Mm-hmm. They have to want to sing it and believe in it as well. But I think that from what I can tell, it's just been like you got it down to a science almost. And I don't mean in a way of like you just have this thing, but you worked for it also. Like you took a lot of time to develop that,
Thank you. Yeah, and surrounding yourself with people that are better than you. It's like I love doing anything. I like playing golf with people that are better than me. I like writing songs with people that are better than me. I like, talk about running. I like running with people that are faster than me. You know what I mean? And it's like, I get a lot of value out of that. You know what I mean? Like, and man, it's like I would much rather. I'm inspired by people that in the writing room. You're talking about that. It's like, man, people that do their thing. Casey Beathard, Jonathan Singleton, like those guys, like they're so dialed into their thing, and it's inspiring, and that's what we get here too. You know what I mean? Like being in town and writing songs. It's like we're around those people week in and week out, and like it's palpable. Like the energy of everybody's like hungry and getting after it, and that's like invaluable for keeping it going. You know what I mean? It's like because you know that up and down those two streets every day, there's somebody writing a great song.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, and that keeps you going, man. It's like I listen to all those. It's like you listen. I was listening through like the new Morgan Wallen record, and it's like, man, there's some freaking awesome songs on that record. You know what I mean? And like I find that inspiring. Like watch what my kids listen to. You know what I mean? It's like the songs that they like off of it. It's like it's inspiring, man. It's like I'm blown away at how talented people are.
Well, it's safe to say that you're a great songwriter, whether you would say so yourself or not. The stats say so, and you've written with great songwriters. Mm-hmm. What do you think separates a great songwriter from a good one?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe just the never give up. You know what I mean? Like there's something to be said about just slugging it out because, for some people it happens pretty quick. Some people come to town and they've got a thing and it takes off. But man, the majority of the people that you would list if you were like, hey man, who's your like, give it 2 Mount Rushmores of songwriters or whatever. You know what I mean? I guarantee you that those folks would, if you sat down and had a conversation like this with them, they would talk to you about the same 10-year slugfest that it was to get to where most people would say, wow, that guy's killing it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Like nobody sees the decade before. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about
They
the
quite
decade
literally
before.
just turn a blind eye.
They don't
to
even
it.
know. Like no one's talking about your 7-year gap there.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. And
Yeah.
and there's something awesome about that too. You know what I mean? It's like, because it just becomes your story. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah. But that's when it's made. You know what I mean? Like that's when those guys are made. It's when they're, in a 2-bedroom with their buddies writing songs on a couch. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's where it all starts.
Was there a point for you? You were talking about yourself and other writers a minute ago, and Casey or whoever having their own thing, Jonathan Singleton having their thing, and you have a thing. Like, how long do you think it took you? And maybe it was the first number one, or maybe it was 5 after. How long do you think it took you for you to go, like, I know exactly, like, you might be really good at like 4 things, but there's a thing that is your thing. How long do you think it took you for you to accept, like, that's my thing?
Well, it's interesting. That changes from room to room, man. What the thing is, some days you're the melody guy, some days you're the lyric guy. So, that changes day to day, but I think with the success, I will say this, with the success comes more confidence in what you do. You know what I mean? And because you have done it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like there's an element of being a little more sure about yourself, your idea or whatever that is. And not saying that I sit down and I still second guess. I go through my phone and my ideas and I'm like, what in God's name were you thinking when you wrote that down? You know what I mean? Like, that is the dumbest thing ever, but so it's not like I come in and I say, it's like, oh yeah, I've got this great idea. This is bulletproof. I know it. You know what I mean? It's like I very rarely feel like that. But there is a confidence in, like, with the people that you're in the room with, that it's like, yeah, it's like, that's my favorite part of the whole deal anyway, is taking something that's like, man, I don't know what this is, but here's a thought. I just like this thought. And then to sit down and to whittle away at that, to get it to something that's like, wow, this is really great.
Yeah.
And that chase to that point, to when the song is finished, I mean, that's still, to this day, my favorite part of being a songwriter.
That's
being
the
a
magical
creative.
part,
Yeah.
I agree. I think there's something, like, we all know this. We've known this the whole time, but for some reason, the last few months, it's really been on my brain a lot about, like, it really is magical. It's like, you're really coming up with something that does not exist to anyone except for some thought in your head.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nuts. And it's a little bit delusional for you to, like, be doing laundry in your house and, like, a melody pops in your head and then all of a sudden you hummed a word that you like that stumbled across a title, and then you got in a room with two dudes and you're like, I have this title, and the third dude's like, oh dude, what if the bridge wrapped here and now the whole song has a completely different meaning, and then all of a sudden the song comes out and it's number one.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually nuts.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like that.
And you can't explain it to people, somebody, if you're like, well, how does that come about? And you realize how much we do in our own heads and in the room, that's just like, yeah, it's just like you can't really put it into words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, man, I don't know why that happened or why you felt like it should have gone this way, but we felt like it should have gone this way. And I don't know. It's tough to put into words, right?
It's kind of nuts.
I feel like I'm slugging right now. I'm in the slugfest of it. And it's just awesome to hear all this, man. You just feel like, at least for me, I feel content in a way, but also, like, dude, my soul is just like has claws and fangs on it, and just like hungry, like wanting it to happen every day, and then like dealing with the small disappointments or the big disappointments, the small victories, and like trying to audit everything. Like, all right, am I a net win? Like, should I keep doing this? Like, am I crazy? Yeah. I talked to my buddy the other day. Sorry.
Good?
And he had someone in his family pass, and I called him to check on him. And he and I, like, raised Cain together for a long time back in the day. And he's, found the Lord himself, and, got a really good job and a kid. And he was like, man, like, you gonna get a different job anytime soon or anything? And, like, trying to make a little more money. And in my head, I'm like, as bad as I want to tell you that that's an option, it's just not. Like, it's just not an option for me. And
that's such a great way to be.
Yeah, I mean, I told him, I was like, man, I really love what I do, and I hate it a lot, but I love it. I really, like, it's a love-hate relationship, but I think that's the fire. Like, there's a verse somewhere in the Bible, like, God, like, sits as like a silver maker or something. I can't remember the exact, like, wording of it, or the verse, but in context and I guess just the definition, like, a silver maker literally holds things over, like, the hottest part of the fire for, like, hours and hours and hours, and molds it, and, like, we're just, when I'm throwing a little temper tantrum, or, like, I didn't get the song, or, like, oh, it's gonna go to radio, and then never goes to radio, and, like, all that stuff, you just gotta, like, it's all about how you react to it, which is what you said earlier. And I'm just 100%. Learning, like, I feel like God wants me to, like, just not care at all. Like, dude, you're not going to make it happen. Like, you wanting it more isn't going to make it happen. You, like, expecting it to happen isn't going to make it happen. You just trusting me and not quitting is the only thing. Like, is the only way for me to make it happen for you.
So true, man.
Isn't that life all the way together though?
Absolutely.
You know, like you wanting anything or hoping for anything is like one thing versus just putting your head down and trusting God.
Yeah.
But like putting your head down, trusting God and still doing the thing,
Yeah.
you know?
Even if you feel like a maniac.
Yeah. Because
that's half of it is like
Yeah.
feeling insane for trying again, but knowing that you just you have to.
I said it earlier, like it, and I'm cheating by saying this when I said, oh, it's like a little bit of delusion. I say that because do you know who Russ is? The artist Russ?
I don't know if I do.
You would probably enjoy like listening to an interview with him or listening to his audio book. He's a pop rap artist, fully independent and just
Crushes the game.
Yeah, crushes the game. Like last week he won an industry player award for Billboard independently from
No kidding.
this dude is making millions and he's still on TuneCore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, all that to say is in his audio book that I was listening to a couple years ago, he was like, man, you just got to be delusional to a certain extent to do this. You have to, because you've got to believe, like what you're saying, like when nothing is working, nothing, and everyone else in the world's like, bro, like, are you going to get a job and make money? You're crazy enough to not see any signs of success around you and go, yeah, but it'll be there.
Yeah.
And everyone's else like, how? Like, you know, like you could have done the same thing. Like I'm sure like when the record deal didn't work out, someone probably was like, hey man, good try.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe you go do something else now and you're like, nope.
Yeah.
It's like you had no reason to go, well, this didn't work, but it might. Because I think the thing is because most people that are not in this world fail at something and go, well, it wasn't for me. Navy SEALs, wannabe Navy SEALs go to Buds and like on day one, before they ever start training, people are ringing the bell and clocking out. It's not for me. I'm out of here. And they don't go back. Yeah. They're done. They go pick a new job. We're one of the few people in the world that's like, you're not getting anything. And we're like, but just wait.
Yeah. And those are the guys.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
And also those are the guys that make it are willing to die trying. Like all of them. Like pretty much
it's the same
everybody
thing.
that jumps in the pool and has to do the
100%.
like you hear so many people talk about SEAL or Buds and they're like, yeah, I was going to die in that pool. Yeah. Or I wasn't going to be a SEAL. 100%. And they have to like resuscitate like half of them.
Yeah, dude, they're dying.
Yeah.
You know, and we did an episode the other day with Jason. We shot with actual Navy SEAL. He was in the Navy SEALs for, I think he said 22 years or something like that. He was on Team 8 and Team 4 for a little bit. And he was talking about Buds and he was like, man, I really appreciated it when like people dropped out. He's like, because you look around. I thought of it a different way when he said it. His reasoning was like, I know that dude's not going to not be there when I'm dying. I need the dude who is going to be there to like drag me out.
Yeah.
When I've got a bullet through me, which was a way different thought that I had, which was like, oh yeah, like the more people that drop out,
the more your circle is refined.
Your circles are fine. Your chances of success are higher now, right? Because there's only going to be so many people that make it. That dude's not one of them now. And when you get there, you have your team, right? Like the dudes who stick out, the songwriting thing, some of the ones you started with here are probably not here anymore. Same with you. Some of the ones you started with are probably the same dudes you're still riding with today.
Yeah.
Like that's your team. That's your squad, right? That's your team 6.
Yeah.
And those other dudes are back home not doing it. Nothing against them.
Yeah.
It wasn't for them. But it took that like refining through the 10-year process to go, Randy and whoever your guy is, your dude that you were riding with 10 years ago, when neither one of you had a hit, are still homies in riding. You know? It's interesting.
Yeah, man. I became friends with a guy that's like talking about this the SEALs dudes. It's like he was a special ops dude, like a couple like kind of 0 Dark 30 type stories, like getting dropped in a helicopter in the middle of the night. Just kind of the elite of the elite, you know.
Yeah.
And he's a super interesting guy. And I was at his house one night. We were hanging out. It was him and one other dude that he was in the Army with, or like I said, I don't even know what division they were in or anything, but like I said, just the elite of the elite type dudes. And I asked him, I was like, well, how much is what you guys did physical as opposed to mental? And he was like, oh, dude, it's 90-10.
Yeah.
Mental to physical.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
crazy.
That's what he told me too.
And because he said, he goes, man, we would have these guys that were in, the program. He's like, that would look like G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? Like all the physical, like you would look at this dude and be like, oh my God, that's the baddest dude.
Right.
And he goes, but then when the bullets started flying, when it got real, he was like, a lot of those guys didn't work out. And he goes, he talked about some little squirrely dude they had that was like, 5'8", 157 pounds. You know what I mean? Just like, and he goes, but that was the dude that was dragging people out of there with, grown, like 220-pound dude on his back. You know what I mean? Like running away from the deal, like dragging a dude out. And he was like, that was the guy. And you just sit there and you go, wow,
dude,
the human mind is a powerful thing.
The unassuming option.
Isn't it insane? Like, I was really interested talking to him and hearing him talk, like just watching him talk about the stories he was sharing. Like, there was a lot of times where we were filming him and we would ask a question and he would be like, I'll gladly tell you this story when the cameras aren't on. And we'd be like, okay, then like we're cutting the cameras off because we want to know. And there was like things that he would say and talk about that I would just be like, I can't wrap my head around that. I don't think, and like, I think you absolutely have to be born differently than the rest of the world to be as casual as they are with the things that they talk about. Like, it's just another day at work. It's freaking nuts, dude. Yeah. And you're right about the like mental versus physical, because he was saying the same thing. He was like, dude, like we got chewed up and spit out physically at Buds. And then he's like, then it was like 10 years before I was like getting shot at, having to run through the mountains and realizing like I'm sprinting right now for the first time in forever. Yeah. Because the majority of my mental battle is like, he was a sniper. So it was like my mental battle and my whole battle was like not being able to move a muscle. That was the physical part. Right. I can't move. I got to look down this scope for long enough to where I have to switch off because I'm like, my eyes are blurry and I'm going blind over here. Yeah. That's crazy, dude. Yeah. It's a different world, bro. Like, seriously, some of the stuff he said, I was like, dude, I don't even think I'm supposed to hear this. I don't think I should be able to, my brain doesn't need to know this.
That's the good stuff, though. That's what I want to hear.
Oh, dude, it was just insane, bro.
Yeah. Do you listen to Sean Ryan's podcast at all?
I don't.
Dude, bro, he has, bro, I'll send you, I just got done listening to a Delta Force guy interview. Did you listen to it?
Nope.
He talks about Buds and then, well, I can't remember what he went into first, but he was like, ended up being a Delta guy, like squad leader, all this stuff, where essentially he started training people going to, I can't remember the term they use, but like Delta training, which is like SEAL Team 6, all those people, the guys that drop in the middle of the night, like rescue the hostages and all that stuff. And
everybody knows they're there.
Yeah. And he was saying the same things. And it's just like, man, it's almost like just as much as songwriter, he was just born to do it. Like, and I feel like God just put something on your heart from an early age. And like,
and you go,
you can try and cover it up. You can try and, or like not be true to it, but you're going to be miserable, you know?
Yeah. I agree with that. That is like whatever career path you pick. If it's on your heart, I think you are born. I think you have to be born a little different to do this. Again, the delusion thing or just the self-belief or like really the crazy thing about being like super inconfident when things don't work out, having no confidence and still being like, I got to play around tomorrow. Yeah. I got to get on stage and play songs that I wrote knowing that my song that I thought was going to radio is not. And I don't know if I'm good anymore, but I'm still going to write tomorrow with my write. You know, that's different because anyone who wasn't born for that would be like, I'm moving home. Yeah. You know, I know what I was going to say back on that for one more second. One of the things he told me, he was like, okay, it was crazy. The episode we were shooting was the Navy SEAL and then a songwriter, Jesse Reeves. Jesse Reeves has written like every worship song you've ever sung in church. How Great Is Our God, Con by Corey Asbury, I Speak Jesus, like all these hits. And so, and he lives in Austin and he's like, he looks like he's from Austin or East Nashville, which is the same thing, right? He looks just like that. And then, I mean, it is.
Know that, but that's funny.
And then it's just very like, you know, hipsters, like his style was like, if you didn't know he was a songwriter, you'd look at him and go, you're a songwriter. And then the Navy SEAL, if you didn't know he was a Navy SEAL, you would look at him and go, he was for sure a Navy SEAL. And so we had them two shooting together. Yeah. And Jesse was like, well, were you ever shot? And he was like, no, but I was shot at. And he was talking about that day that he was like booking it through these mountains. And he was like, I knew I was going to die. I knew I was. He was like, it was the first time that I knew for a fact that like, I'm going to die for sure. Going to get shot in the head. And Jesse was like, well, what were you thinking? And this was his actual thought. He was like, I was trying to get from point A to point B. He had some whole tactical thing. They talked about this training mechanism they did running up the mountain that they trained for, 10 years ago, whatever. He was like, the only thing going through my head was how pissed off my wife was going to be when she found out I wasn't wearing my helmet, because every time I would deploy, she would beg me and make sure to tell me like, wear your helmet or I'm going to be so pissed off at you. If you die and come home in a casket because you weren't wearing your helmet, I'll never forgive you. And he was like, the only thing going through my head was how pissed off she's going to be when she knows I wasn't wearing my helmet. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, out of all the thoughts, dude.
He's like, I got shot in the chest.
Yeah.
But I wasn't wearing my helmet.
Yeah. And he says, he goes up, right. He goes up to the top of the mountain where he finally like gets to his anchor guy. And this dude's like, this giant boulder that he's trying to make his way to. There's one of his buddies up there, shooting for him. Slides up there behind the rock, and his buddy is just standing up on the rock, wide open, just, and he calls it going to work. That means they're killing people, but that's what he would say. And he like looks at his buddy, and he's like, "Dude, like you want to like get down and like maybe like not be squared up, like get behind the rock." And he said the dude's answer was, "Nah, man, if I get shot, I'll be home in 3 weeks, and my kids are going to college forever. Hoorah! Pa, 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 pa. Or going to college for free."
Oh my God.
And he's just sitting there watching. I'm like, yeah, this is just where we are. Like, that is a different
breed, man.
You can't just think that way and be like me,
different breed, man.
I'd be like, dude, this is just like, I'd probably have an anxiety attack, honestly.
That is wild. Dang. That is wild.
Crazy, bro.
Dude. Insane.
Yeah.
Well, bro, do you have any, like, we can wrap up if you want. I feel like we can sit
for
here
as long as you want.
Talk for hours. I was going to ask you some stuff just about hunting, just because our listeners, a lot of them are, outdoorsmen as well. Like, I can't, as I was saying earlier, when I think about Randy Montana, a lot of the things that come to mind are the antlers on the wall and just like, you're kind of like your slice of heaven out there in Nolensville. Yeah. Well, sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, but like,
we can cut that.
Yeah.
We'll cut out where you live.
It's okay. Come find me.
Yeah. Your little slice of heaven out there, and like the deer you shot on your own property, the elk, the massive elk that you've killed. Like, have you always hunted your whole life, or was it just
hunting was something my grandfather and my great grandfather, they hunted a ton. It kind of skipped a generation though. My dad doesn't hunt, has no interest in it at all. We fished a lot growing up, but hunting was always something I wanted to get into. And then when I got to be, I don't know, man, when I was driving around, 17, 18 is when I started having friends that did it. I had a buddy that would take me out to his place in West Tennessee and shot my first deer out there, and that's where the fire got lit, and just kind of went from there. I mean, y'all know how it is. It's like once that bug bites you, it's kind of
then your wallet's screwed. And you lose all your money. All your number ones go to that, right?
Oh yeah,
that's exactly right.
There's been a couple times that I've called Randy and been like, "What you doing, man?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in the Snake River out in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, with my family catching cutthroats." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
See, that's where that's my bug.
Charts have been good.
That's where all my money goes.
Yes. No, man, I love it. I love all forms of it. I like turkey in the spring, and it's funny, man. I'm watching my son. My middle son is obsessed with it too, and he's got the thing. And he's funny because in the spring this year, he's like, "Dad, I think turkey hunting's my favorite." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, it is until November rolls around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or till September does,
yes.
and then it's dove season.
That's
me. And that's how we all do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just
it used to bother me because I feel like there are people. I mean, there's some dudes that they don't, they're addicted to one thing and one thing only, and like they might go do the other things when they're asked, but they're putting 85% of their time at least and being the best bow hunter they can possibly be, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I always was like, man, is it like, should I be like focused on just being a better fisherman because I enjoy that the most?
Mm-hmm.
but I can't because like when duck season rolls around, I'm a duck hunter.
Yeah.
Until like 3 weeks in, and then I hate it and I'm ready to move on. Mm-hmm. Same way with dude. It didn't take that long for turkey season this year. I was like, I'm ready to move on from turkeys.
Also give some context to that. You're not just like,
yeah, it's a little different now. It's a little different now because I'm doing it for work, you know, and it's like I hunted more this year than I have probably all the years of my life combined. But, you know, no matter, even if I wasn't like hitting it hard, by the end of the season, I'm like, where's next season for the next thing? You know, like I'll love dove hunting the first 2 times we go. And then I'm like, okay, I'm over dove hunting this time for deer, you know?
Yep.
I'm that way for sure.
No, it's so true, man. And it's like, I'm the same way where it's like, I got to kind of have something different. Like as soon as turkey goes out, then I'm ready to fish. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, now I'm kind of in fishing mode, and that'll be that way until we start, you know, really getting some good horn picks. And then it's time to transition, you know?
Have you ever fished the Turnbull here? It's in west. It's a little west of Nashville. It's actually close to Dixon.
Yeah. No, I haven't done Turnbull.
Dude, I was out there a week ago fly fishing for smallmouth. Yeah. Biggest water moccasin I've ever seen in my life.
No kidding.
About from me that light.
I've never seen a moccasin in Tennessee.
Brother. I'm not joking. I'm from Alabama, and there's this creek that it's my place. You know, it's my favorite place on earth. And I like wear spotted bass out there, and I've seen more snakes in that creek than anywhere on earth. Mm-hmm. And I've seen more water moccasins there than I've seen water moccasins anywhere else. I've never seen a water moccasin in any of the rivers that I've seen one small one here on the Katy. Yeah. I've seen copperheads, I've seen water snakes, whatever. Dude, it was so big, bro, that like I didn't even have it in me to be freaked out about it. I genuinely couldn't wrap my head around how big it was. I was fly fishing with my buddy who taught me how to fly fish, and he was moving. He's already moved back to Florida now, and he's, man, let's go fish the Turnbull. I got to leave this week anyways. I'm like, cool. We were in this river for about 4 hours, and we fished up it, we fished down it. We're on our way back. He's probably like a little past from me to the wall, climbing back up the bank to get out, mm-hmm. and I'm right behind him. And this is how it always happens when I see a snake while I'm fishing. It's like, I have no reason to find it. I'll be looking at Tyler, and then my eyes will just be like, there's the snake, right? This giant tree stump that's like half submerged in the water, and he's just like all coiled up around it. And my first thought was like, it's so big, there's no way.
Right.
Like the head on that water moccasin was like that big around. I'm not joking you. If I picked it up with my hands, I bet you I could barely get my hands around the body of it.
Oh my God.
And I was like talking to Ron, I was like, did you not see that? You just walked past 5 feet ago when you started climbing up next to it to get out of the water.
Oh my.
He's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm like, it is the biggest water moccasin that I've ever seen in my life. Like so big that I wish you would climb back into the water and come look at this. And he was like, there's no way I'm getting back in that water. But I couldn't believe it, dude. I'm ranting on this because I genuinely cannot get over how big that snake was. So big that I will not fish that river again, probably by myself at least. Just knowing there's a snake that big in there.
Oh my gosh.
I wasn't wearing waders. I was wearing these exact pants and boots. Yeah. My wading boots.
That's a good reason. I'll have to go back.
Pro.
My first poisonous snake, it's like not close call. We were me and my buddy Dan Isbell, who does the God's Country podcast. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We were going to turkey hunt in Wayne County, Tennessee, which is south. And we were going to stay the night down there. They had a little trailer to sleep in. And so we took off. We were going to hunt the next morning. So we took off the night before. We're driving down. We're cutting through Columbia. We stop at this gas station. Okay. Inside the gas station, there was a guy at the checkout. And I cannot describe to you. He had like almost like flat iron blonde hair. About shoulder length, okay? And the brightest, like Hulk Hogan blonde hair, okay? He's wearing a trucker hat. He was insanely tan with a big cross earring in one ear. And like, he was probably 60, 65 years old, insanely ripped. This dude looked like, we still don't know if he was real. Okay.
If he was, he had to be from Florida.
We still don't know if he was real. And this is why. So he's checking us out, and he's I don't know how he knew this. He goes, "You boys going turkey hunting in the morning?" We're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, watch out for them rattlesnakes." He goes, "They'll get you." And he goes, "You see this?" And he holds his forearm up, and like from like about his wrist all the way up to like the bend in his arm was like a skin graft, like pretty tore up. You know what I mean? Like an old skin graft. He goes, "This is from a rattlesnake." He goes, "I picked him up when I was 17 years old, thought I was hot shit, and it turned around and he bit me." And that's what happened. He's like, because the poison went up his arm or whatever. And he was like, "So you'll need to watch out for them rattlesnakes." We called him Rattlesnake Ricky.
That's
after
awesome.
we left. And we still wonder if he was just like an apparition or an angel, because
Yeah, it could have been, dude.
Dan
he,
was
had
like,
he had the cross
I
earring,
never saw
you know?
him again.
He knew what you were doing the next day.
So we got up in the dark the next morning, and Wayne County's really up and down. You know what I mean? It's like super steep, kind of like Cheatham County is.
Mm-hmm.
But even a hair, like the ridges are where they're at are a little even more narrow, you know? So we get up on top of this ridge in the morning, and we're walking through in the pitch black. And I mean, I'm not kidding you, like parts of this ridge top were as wide as this room. You know what I mean? Like it was real narrow, and it would widen out in places, but it fell off pretty good on each side. Dude, we go walk in the dark, set up, call it this turkey. Bird flies down. We don't wind up killing the bird. He sits over there and struts with a bunch of hens for 45 minutes and makes fun of our calling back at us, and then just goes off and does his thing. And we turn around to leave, and we're walking out. And I'm now, mind you, it's like we had walked in the dark too on this same way, and we're walking back out. And I stepped. There was a log laying. It was like, I don't know, man. It was probably like that big around. And I'm like stepping over the log, if this is my foot, and I'm stepping over it and kind of like holding my foot up in the air. And all I said was, "There he is." And there was like a 4.5, 5 foot timber rattler, like right below my boot, just coiled up. He's just looking at me. It's like, you know the difference in like, you know when you see like a rat snake or a garter snake, it's like, man, they booger out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But man, that rattlesnake, they look up at you like,
Oh, they don't care,
Like,
bro.
what's up, bro?
"We got a problem?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not moving. You know what I mean? Like that's
Exactly what that water moccasin did to me.
it's this attitude of just like apex
They are.
predator. You know what I mean? And he's like, and that joker just looked up at me like, "Welcome to my ridge." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but we'd walk by him in the dark, man. I was like, golly, I was like, how close were we in the dark?
You ever thought about that? Like genuinely, how many times you've stepped over them, next to them, on them, sat right next to them? Like
For sure.
I think about this past season, how many times that like we would move on turkey hunts and just sit in places that are just covered in leaves, or like something would happen quick. Like we'd be walking and one would like gobble in our face 50 yards away. So it was just a quick sit down right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not even looking while you're sitting down.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many times have you done that and there's been a snake like right there?
For sure.
I hate that.
I fell asleep one time and had one. I was leaning up against a tree during turkey season. I was sleeping on the tree, and I heard the leaves crunching next to me. Mm-hmm. And I looked to the right, and I saw a big black snake tail this side. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And then kind of like followed it back, and I realized like it was between my back and the tree.
Dude, I'd freak out. I'm freaking
And,
out
like,
right now thinking
turned
about
and
it.
looked, and like his head was right there, and I was just stayed still.
That's all you can do.
I wasn't gonna jump up, man. I was too scared to jump up. It was just
my God.
it was just a rat snake or whatever. But like, how did he get there?
I didn't care at all when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
Like that creek I was talking about, like I would drive my Jeep barefoot, shirtless, nothing but a pair of Columbia PFGs on, all the way to the creek, through the woods, drinking the whole way there probably. That's probably why I didn't care, actually, now that I think about it. And I would fish that creek barefoot, shirtless, with nothing but PFGs on and a fishing pole and whatever I had in my backpack. And I'd see the snakes in the water with me and be like, I'll either kill them or I don't care.
yeah.
Now, bro, I'm like, with waders on, I'm like, it's time to go home, y'all. Like, when I saw, the week before I saw that giant one, I went home to specifically fish that creek, and I had waders on. And I fished it all the way down to the river, and I saw a water snake in the water with me, and that was enough for me to be like, oh, man, like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And now after this past week, I'm almost positive that unless it's out west or western North Carolina, I think I'm done wade fishing in the summer.
Yeah.
I think it'll have to be winter. I'm hanging it up, and it's either no fishing in the summer or I'm behind a boat, dude. It's one or the other. Like, I don't have it in me anymore. I don't know if it's because I'm just a wimp now, or I've just aged, or I'm seasoned. I'm just done, dude. I can't do it.
The other one's snapping turtles. You ever like
Oh,
been
yeah,
walking through a
that's-
creek
yeah.
and then like you kind of look down, you're like, God, that's a weird shaped rock.
And the rock moves.
And you're just like, whoa,
100%.
that's a big old snapping
They're
turtle.
all big.
Massive.
Every time
And
I
they're
see one,
dinosaurs.
They're dinosaurs, bro.
They are dinosaurs.
I'd rather see that, though,
Oh yeah. I mean,
if I had a choice.
yeah, snake to turtle for sure.
for sure.
At least if they get you, it'll hurt like hell, but it kind of venom running through your veins afterwards.
Oh, for
you know?
sure.
Yeah.
We did an alligator hunt a couple years ago with a buddy of mine. His wife had gotten him one for his birthday. He's like, he's like, do you want to go? And I'm like, well, you only live once, buddy. Let's
Yeah,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And I didn't really know what to expect, you know. And we went out, and we were in North Florida, and went out, and it was with a bow. You can do it at night, you know, and you know, you shoot them with the kind of like the bow fishing rig, you know, and then they take it's connected to the string that's connected to the float. So you stick them and they swim off and you follow the float or whatever. But man, like the size of those things puts swimming in a whole different,
Oh, yeah.
like where, you know what I mean? Like jumping in the lake. Obviously it's like, we're not going to have that up here.
Dude,
You know
if
what I
we
mean?
had what Florida has here, I don't think I'd swim.
No,
No, I would not for sure.
no. And
And I definitely wouldn't wade the rivers. I promise you that.
Yeah.
And that was
no
the
way.
thing. It's like we were down there for 3 days. And I'm thinking in my head, it's like, you know, you try to like figure out, you're like, okay, well, what is this going to be like? And I'm thinking like, okay, like there's probably going to be a couple around and we'll all get a crack at like one alligator. Dude, we would shine that spotlight on the reservoirs that we were on at night. And I mean,
Eyeballs.
everywhere. Like when I say I laid eyes on between 7,000 to 8,000 alligators over 4 nights, like that's not an exaggeration. Like
crap.
every corner we'd come around, like you see those eyeballs lit up, and you're like, how many of these things are there?
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's a great trip.
I think they're sick. I think they're so cool. I'd love to hunt them. I like being around them. I like fishing around them. I think I'm on the boat. I think it's awesome. I think there's something like nitty gritty, dirty South about being around them while you're like doing a water activity. Couldn't pay me to get in the water with them.
Yeah.
I would never wade again. I mean, first of all, if you live in Florida, you're gonna have to have a boat anyways. Like, there's no reason to wade nothing. You can just have fun. But dude, what a just a different culture of like outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
My buddy who fly fishes, he'll fish down there and he'll flounder gig and stuff. They flounder gig at night with the headlamps on in the ocean, waist deep. They're waist deep gigging flounder. And I'm like, are you not worried about sharks?
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's like, you got to worry about the stingrays, not stepping on them. He's like, you got to do the stingray shuffle. Like, you don't pick your feet up. You just shuffle your feet the whole time you're in the water. And then you get, I'm like,
Yeah.
or hear me out, you don't have to do it at all. You know? That's an option too. Get in the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude.
Man, I got stung by a stingray one
You
time.
did?
I
Did you really?
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, how bad was that?
Dude, that was. I'm not exaggerating to this day. That was the worst pain
Yeah.
I've ever felt in my life.
So why would you even, you can flounder gig from the boat, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't live in Florida. I don't know.
No, I think you can.
Sure, on
Yeah.
a skiff. I
So
mean, it's probably
skiff,
really easy.
Right. Yeah. Why would you want to? I guess somebody would say the same thing to me of like, why would you wade the river if there's a water moccasin? But like, I don't have to do the water moccasin shuffle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
I wonder what that looks like.
Yeah.
What is the water moccasin shovel?
I think that's just running, dude. I think that's just high kneeing it out of the water, bro. Knees to chest and then out of there, dude.
That's hilarious. Where were you when you got stung?
I was in South Carolina.
Oh, and like on the
We
chart?
were we were outside of Charleston.
Were you swimming or like fishing?
Dude, I had my dog out there. I had a chocolate lab, Leroy, God rest his soul. I had him on a leash. There was a leash law there, so I had to have him on a leash because we'd gotten in trouble about it before. But man, I think we like cornered it. Like he was swimming right next to me, and we were going through the water, and then I just felt something hit my. Water's real murky, like you can't see your feet. You know what I mean? It was like on the Atlantic, you know, and so it's not like super clear water. And dude, I felt something go whack and hit the side of my thing or my ankle, and I was like, I didn't know what it was. It was the first time I was like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like it felt weird. And then like I started getting this like pain like running up my leg, like I could almost feel it in my bloodstream, like it's not a venom. It's like some sort of toxic thing, and just that they use to stun fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To humans, it's just like insanely painful. And I got it. So I was like, I kind of came up out of the water, and I looked, and I had like a little
barb
hole in my foot. Yeah, I had a hole in my foot, and it was bleeding. And I was like, man, that is so weird. I still couldn't figure out what it was. And then it started hurting more. And we were sitting there talking on the beach to somebody. I was like, I got to go in the house. And I went in the house, and I just remember my wife Montgomery coming in, and I was like laying on the floor, like writhing in pain. She goes, what is wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I was like, this is bad, you know? And so she's like, let's just run a little minute clinic. And I was like, yes. Because I mean, it was overwhelming. Like, I've never felt anything hurt like that. And man, we went to the doctor, and he was like, man, you won the Stingray lottery, you know? And he says, not many people get stung. And he's like, I think we just kind of cornered it. Me and the dog did.
I guess it was a good thing it wasn't your dog, though, probably.
Yeah, probably right.
Do they like slap their tails, or is it like
That's what it felt like. I felt like I got hit.
Yeah. They have like a little barb on the end of them.
Man, it went in.
Right into you.
He numbed it, and then because I have to clean it out because like it's smooth going in, then it's barbed coming out. So a lot of times it'll leave like little pieces of it in there.
Yep.
So he numbed it and then cleaned it out, and he's like, "You want to see something crazy?" I mean, it's like, you know that the knot there, kind of on your ankle where your bone is. It was right below that. So you think, okay, there's not a lot of room there, like tissue wise. Dude, he stuck those forceps in there and just showed me how deep the barb went in. And dude, it was like a solid 1.5 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Like that went into my foot.
Dude, I was watching a video on TikTok the other day of a guy kayak fishing somewhere in the ocean. Caught a stingray, pulled it up, and he's like trying to unhook it. And he's like, please God, just like, don't let this thing. He's like holding it up like this. He's on the kayak. You know, there's waves going through. He's like, please God, don't let this thing sting me. And then it just freaking whips that tail around, dude, straight in his arm. So he's got the stingray laying in the kayak with the barb and the tail still in his arm. In the video, there's a GoPro in the front. He just like very calmly is like, picks his phone up. He's like, hey Siri, how to remove stingray barb from your body. And then he's like sitting there with a pair of pliers, like trying to yank this thing out, like calling 911. And it was the whole, like, you're right. Like as the minutes went by, dude, he started just getting like more in pain, screaming out there. And he's out there, bro.
Oh my God.
Dude, if I was pulling up a stingray, I'd be like, we're cutting that line right now.
That is
I am not putting that thing in the
for
boat,
sure.
bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We got Steve Irwin, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crikey.
That's good.
Sorry.
That was good.
I had to.
That was good. R.I.P.
Dang, bro. Good. My bad. Sorry, God.
God.
Yeah, that's wild. Dude, I'm just gonna be selfish right now and ask you about elk hunting.
Yeah.
Why'd you do this?
I'm like,
I got to pee so bad.
Go pee, bro.
So y'all are gonna have to just chit chat for a
Go
minute.
pee. Like we talked about earlier, I'm heading out to Colorado for my first one, and this is actually your fault because you have so many big bulls in your barn. Every time I go in there, I'm like, I got to get one. Any advice? Like, yeah, just in general, training, gear, broadhead maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. man, broadhead wise, it's so funny, man. Some guys, I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer there. Some guys like, I like the fixed ones on the elk personally. Like I've always thought like arrow penetration was more important.
King.
You know what I mean? Like, at least in my mind. Even those, like, I killed one with like, one of those little, what are they called? Just a little 3-blade fixed.
The Wasp or Exodus.
Yeah, it's close to that. Yeah, it's close to those
Something
G5s.
like
It's kind of like those, you know what it is? Muzzy trocars.
Muzzies, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and they're not expensive. They're great little heads. And I also killed one with those, there's the company makes, it's the Kudu, which is just like the single, like it's the beveled broadhead. That's like, that one was great too. I don't know. I always erred on that side, but man, there's plenty of guys that like shoot them with the rage and don't think twice about it. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely going fixed.
I did have one, man, I shot one time. Crazy story. It was like broadside shot. Perfect. And man, I don't know if I hit a rib. Like, honestly, if you put a picture of an elk broadside and you're like, where do you want to hit this elk? I hit him, like, and you pointed to the spot. That's where I hit him. And he was running away. I hit him. I'm like, oh, smoked. You know what I mean? I'm losing my mind. And the guide that was back behind, he's back behind Colin. He goes, you gut shot him. And I was like, no, I didn't. He's like, no, I saw it hang out of his gut. And he's running off.
Like deflected.
And I was like, no, man, there's no way. I was like, I know where I shot him. So we get up to him. We find him. Get up to him. And he's laying on the exit wound side. And, and he goes, see, yeah, I told you. And it was kind of out his gut, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, let's flip him over. I was like, because that's the exit. And we turned him over, and dude, it was exactly where you'd want to hit him. And it was like, man, when that arrow hit, like it hit something and just took a left-hand turn.
Wow.
Like almost 90 degree or 45. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
How long did y'all let him sit before you went?
It was pretty quick. It was
really?
pretty quick, yeah.
So your shot was still lethal halfway, like pretty lethal. At least like you got vitals for sure before it went out.
I think so. Yeah, the way it went in, and then even, you know, where it went out, it would have caught liver and stuff like that too on the way out. So yeah, it wasn't that bad. But I mean, I don't know. You know, dude, bow hunting, it's like things are weird. It just gets weird. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like even deer you shoot, you know what I mean? Like, I killed a buck a couple years ago that same deal. You look at him, like, you know, sent a picture to buddies, like, oh man, you smoked him. But it didn't go anywhere. I'm like, man, that joker ran 180 yards. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how they do it, but they do. They're just tough animals.
They are.
Yeah. I saw a video the other day. I've been binge watching elk hunting just to really get a lot of information, other people's bad experiences, good experiences, you know, like just trying to get as much information as I can. But I saw a video of a guy shooting a fixed blade. I mean, just drained it. Kobe. Like you're saying, if you could put your finger on where you want to put your arrow, he put it there and they never found him. They tracked him for like miles.
Wow.
And like eventually blood dried, and then now they're just tracking his hoof. Yeah. You know, and like
it's insane, dude.
I mean, I watched the video, like he put it right there in the sweet spot, and I'm like, man.
Yes.
Crazy that they are that robust that they just take it.
For
and
sure.
That elk's probably dead.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Probably.
At some point.
Think about the game cam pictures you've seen online or whatever of like deer with arrows still sticking out of them.
No doubt.
I'm 90% positive there's a doe in Maline, Alabama.
Not to be specific.
No, to be very specific. Off of Highway 17, if you go into the back of Fox Valley neighborhood and drive to the very end of it.
She's got a muzzy in her back strap.
In her front right shoulder, I'm guaranteeing it.
Yeah. No,
she broke it off. I found the other half of it.
Crazy.
Guaranteed she's running around with it.
That's hilarious.
It is crazy.
I have a picture on my game camera behind one of my dad's properties of a 3-legged deer. That was for sure not born that way. It probably got hit by a car or whatever and it fell off. And it's like, dude, you run around on 3 legs, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild, dude.
Yeah. Man, two, you know what was tough? So growing up in the South, whitetail hunting, like, dude, those deer walk through the woods looking up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think we can all attest to that it's just like, doo-doo-doo. And you're like, how in God's name did you know to look up right now? Like, you hadn't even moved. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
With the elk, that was the weirdest thing to get used to because you can get away with a lot, like compared to the movement that we're used to getting away with in a stand, of it having to be like just so careful about when to draw your bow and stuff like that. The elk, I don't know if it's that their vision's not as good as whitetail or I don't know what it is, but it's like you can get away with a bit more movement than you would think. You know what I mean? And you've actually got more time before they bust to make your shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously, every situation's different, but that was the weirdest thing too. It's like, they're like bow hunt for them. It's like, you know, you or I, if we were bow hunting for a deer off the ground, if we were whitetail hunting for deer off the ground, we would instinctually get behind the tree because we're like, we got to be as blocked as possible as you know what I mean? Just for there's no chance of being seen. You know what I mean? Behind the bush, whatever. Like if you're trying to get it done from the ground, which would be insanely hard. But that's with elk. It's like they're like, no, you stand in front of it. Like you just need something to block your like
silhouette almost.
Yeah, just to make your silhouette not look like a human. You know what I mean?
It's almost like the turkey deal, sitting in front of the tree and not behind it. You're not popping out and changing things up for them. It's just like you're a part of the tree.
Yes,
you're part of your backdrop.
And that was really weird. And then getting away with drawing the bull that I killed most recently, like, you know, he was at 65. I had him at 65, and I'm sitting there in front of this tree that's no wider than me. You know what I mean? Like this juniper bush. And I'm like, there's no way this bull is going to keep coming. You know what I mean? Like, as I felt like I was out in the open. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I'm naked standing.
Was he like walking straight at you?
He came right up over the ridge like this, and he stopped and just sent one bugling he was backlit by the sun. It was sick. And so he comes to 65 and like talking about the movement thing. It was like by that point I'd been used to it a little bit more. And so like I shot him and ranged him at 65, and I was like, man, it just felt a little too far. He was facing me, you know what I mean? Like he was right at me, and I'm like, man, I'm not taking a frontal shot at 65. And I'm thinking to myself, it's like, well, this one's over. You know, he's not going to come any closer. And that dude came another 20 yards, stopped at 43, and I ranged him again. And I was like, well, this is definitely it. You know what I mean? And just by the movement thing, it's like, man, if it was a whitetail and I went ahead and I was real careful to try to stay super in line, like drawing my bow, you know what I mean? Not like doing one of these, you know what I mean? But like just trying to keep it right here. And once I got drawn, it was kind of one of those where I go, oh my God, I can't believe I got drawn. You know what I mean? Like I can't believe I'm back, and he's still standing there. And was able to anchor and let it rip. And
Did you have a frontal?
I took a frontal. Yeah, man, that shot which is, you know, it's such a no-no with whitetail.
Yeah. It's
like, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't tried it, because I have, and we didn't find the deer, you know. But with elk, it's like, man, they've got they say it's about the size of a volleyball, kind of in that range. Kind of right there where the longer hair stops from their neck, you know. And, man, dude, it was 40 yards. Yeah. And it was a 42-yard shot, and then he went 40 and piled up. Like, I mean, it was over like that.
It's crazy, like, how many videos I've seen of people taking frontal shots on elk, and it's like the approach that a bull takes to your bugling or your cow calling or whatever is completely different than a buck is going to take to trying to skirt you or something. So I think elk actually probably present themselves as for like a frontal shot way more than a buck would, because rarely a deer is like walking straight to you. You know, they're going to try and skirt you.
Yeah.
But I feel like those elk, and I don't know, I've never been, but from what I can tell, like when they're rutting, like they're they're not worried about like, I don't know. It just seems like they're like looking for you. And
yeah. Well, kind of back to the turkey thing, like you were saying, like it's very turkey hunting-ish. Like you'll see the similarities. It's just a 800-pound turkey
with no wings,
with daggum swords coming off of his head. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, it's a very similar thing where they're coming to like, they're like, where is she? You know what I mean? And so they're headed that way, as opposed to a whitetail where you're trying to kind of pick them off.
Mine's still running.
Still going, okay.
Surprisingly, it's never that way around. It's always the other way around.
It had to be the cards in, which I have 2 cards in there, so it's probably fine.
It's all good.
Well, anyways, that's a good place to wrap it up. I guess we got a camera dying on us.
One rolling here, but
yeah.
We met your episode 18.
Cool.
And somewhere around episode 3. My brother-in-law gave me this guitar and was like, man, do something with this. It's just going to sit in my house. And I was like, dude, that's the last thing I need is just a guitar in my house. Like I don't have 4 other ones sitting in here. So we said we were going to bring it to the GodDog studio and get all of our guests to sign it. And we would leave it in here up for everyone to do. We're only 18 episodes late, but do you want to be the first one? We'll have to go back in time. And
Better late than never.
Yeah.
Jasper, never late than never.
You down?
Yeah.
All right, bet.
You have a Sharpie?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I might have one. All right.
Yeah, only 18 late, dude. I think we can, at some point in time, get all the other ones we missed out on.
Yeah.
I think I have a Sharpie in here, too.
I think I have one. Oh, yeah.
Giant Sharpie, dude. Can't mess this up. You're going to be the first one. You can sign it in the shiny part. I think
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Once we flub the tan.
You'll have to get like a silver Sharpie for the back or something. Yeah.
He just takes up the whole entire front part.
That would be sick.
Giant.
Yeah. Yeah, just leave it here and with the pen, and when people come over that have been here before, I'll have them sign it. Yeah.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it, dog. Appreciate you. Hang it up or something and leave it.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Start the thing.
That's a good signature right there.
All right, well, thank you for doing this. It was
Man, thank you guys for having me.
great episode.
Thank you.
I love
Appreciate
that
all
you
the
guys do
wisdom,
this.
too.
Oh man, well, y'all got a great group of friends, and I've always said that. And even after leaving Tyler, after leaving your wedding, you guys got a great crew of friends that want the best for each other, and that put their faith first, and it's a big part of why you guys hang out. And man, that's invaluable going forward. You know what I mean? Like those are the people that you want in your corner. And I've always been blown away by you guys with having that. You know what I mean? Like that's a rare thing to have, especially in what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, don't take that for granted, because that's a big deal. Big deal.
Thank you. We definitely try not to, for sure. I know Jasper and I feel very, I feel very blessed. I mean, just to have Jasper in my life, you in my life, Dylan, Damon, Nick, Matt, everybody that we've had on here. It's just been like,
Yeah.
I feel like God's doing a lot of things in a lot of people's lives, and we might not be immediately like talking every day, but GodDog has been a really awesome thing to just kind of like consolidate everybody's experiences and wisdom, and we just really appreciate you being on here. And I personally really appreciate, obviously, everything you've done for me, and this is just a super special episode. So
Yeah, this is good.
Awesome, man. Well,
also,
guys.
thank y'all for staying at the wedding.
We had a great time.
There was a lot of people that, like, I'm not gonna say anything, like some family that even like left and like didn't like hang around and send us off, and I didn't notice, but Morgan was like, yeah, like Randy and Montgomery stayed the whole time. I was like,
We had an awesome time.
that was freaking sick.
Yeah, and like we only met at the dove hunt, and you were chatting it up with me like you already knew me, and your wife was chatting it up with Sydney like they had met before.
Yeah.
And they hadn't. And like we left there and Sydney was like, who are they? Like, what's his name? Like, they were the best. I want to talk to his wife again about where they send their kids to school and blah, blah, blah.
Awesome.
So yeah, you're a very kind human being.
That's awesome. No, thank you, man. You guys as well, man. Like I said, you got a good wonderful group of guys.
Well, thank you, man. You're included in that. Tell Montgomery and the kids we said hello. And
I will.
yeah, y'all have a good day.
GodDog.
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 Randy Montana.
Come on.